Okay, one more time. Hello, everybody. Hello to our partners in the world. My name is Bjoern Zimmermann. I'm application specialist at HP Cosmos, and I'm happy to have you here today for our webinar. And the webinar will be about our MCU6 control panel and its various features. To remind you, the current control panel of the treadmill, the MCU5, is available for many years on the market already and has done a perfect job and is still doing a perfect job. The latest control panel, the MCU6, right on the treadmill, right next to me, or this one, is available for different models now. It's available for the HP Cosmos Quasar and the HP Cosmos Pulsar 1P since last year already, and within the current year of 2024, we will also launch, for example, this prototype, the treadmill, the 150 size treadmill, the Pluto and the Mercury, with the MCU6 control panel. The control panel allows and offers a lot of very nice features. We will go through the most of the features, and just to explain some technical background, the MCU6 control panel consists of a large 10.1 inch touchscreen, and inside there is also a Windows, so a performant Windows PC called Nuke 11. In addition, this treadmill has many different interfaces. So, for example, USB interfaces on the side, USB interfaces on the rear, as well as RS-232 interfaces. We have also Ethernet connection, we have NFC, we have RFID connection, we have Bluetooth Low Energy, many kinds to connect with the treadmill. And this is relevant if you want to connect the treadmill to an external device like an ECG or spirometry device to measure, for example, the VO2 max. This is the control panel, which will be seen on the treadmill as well. The control panel itself is not just of a big need and of big use for you as the partners and for the customers, so the end users, the athletes on the treadmill. It's also of a big use for our service partners. So that means it's a big help for the service guys, the technical guys on the field. For example, if you want to download the log files in case of troubleshooting, or if you want to update or upgrade any feature or software on the treadmill. So also our service partners can use it. The software here on this control panel, it's a software. That means we have also this kind of software available for stationary or laptop PC, shown here on the big screen already. The software is called Paracontrol 6 and can control the treadmill the same like what you see here on the treadmill itself. Just connect it with the Ethernet cable, select the right IP address, and then you can control right from the software the treadmill. That is of a big use, for example, in a laboratory, in a clinic, where the treadmill is located in one corner of the room, and the operator, the researchers, for example, are located on a desk on the other corner of that lab. They can easily control the treadmill. To go through some of the features, I will briefly explain here the starting screen. The starting screen shows right in the beginning 3 big functions. The important function is probably the quick start, the manual mode, right here in the middle. Let's do some demonstration, and I will ask my colleague Veronica to join me here, to help me here on the treadmill. Please come over. I will connect Veronica to the safety arch and the harness for safety reasons. Maybe here it's not relevant, but for demonstration and for the practical use in a clinic, it's a very nice and an important safety feature. Okay, the manual mode will be activated right here in the middle. And after a delay of 5 seconds, which can be adjusted, the treadmill starts. And then we have the, let's say, basic functions and some advanced functions of the treadmill. The control panel still consists of traditional buttons, the haptic buttons that you can feel. These are not part of the touchscreen. To change the speed, just press the plus or minus button, or do the same on the touchscreen, plus and minus, or just tap on the number to select a target speed, for example, 2.5 kilometers per hour. And in addition, also select increase or lower the acceleration. So the same applies also for the elevation. We are already connected to the heart rate. So Veronica wears a heart rate monitor. In this case, it's a Polar Belt H10, but also other heart rate monitors can be used as well if they are based on the Bluetooth low energy transmission. If we want to select a different heart rate monitor, there's a heart symbol here right on top. And then we can select or deselect the different sources, the different heart rate monitors. So what do we see here in this main window? We see a big graph. That means everything that was based on a computer software before is now integrated in the big touchscreen. We see here the time course of that training session. Green line represents the speed, blue line represents the elevation, and orange the heart rate. So this will be visualized and is a very helpful tool to report the data and to capture everything over the whole time course. On the right-hand side, we have a multifunctional window. The multifunctional window starts with the speed shortcuts to quickly select a different speed, for example, 4 kilometers per hour. For you as an operator or for the end users, you can also change it with the settings. For example, click here on 4 and change it to 3.5 if you want to do so. Now 3.5 applies here in the shortcut. Click it, skip the delay if needed, and go to the next speed. That was the emergency stop. Sorry for that. So still, safety is important. We have a safety stop, a magnetic lanyard. Let's do it like this, that we connect it to Veronica as well. So we make sure everything is proper and safe. So what we have seen here right now is a safety stop. And this safety stop is like a normal stop, and it will bring us to the summary, to the end screen. But here in the end screen, we have still the chance to continue the run. And the treadmill will start again, and we go to any selected speed. Also here in this multifunctional window, we have some more functions. Some of the functions are for extra charge. Those are options that can only be seen if this treadmill is equipped with this extra function. For example, one test here, or one integrated window shows the Stroop test, which is a cognitive test or a dual tasking exercise. This can be enlarged as well. So this Stroop test should be visible for the subject on the treadmill. This Stroop test is actually a separate feature, a feature that we will highlight and that we will focus in another webinar. And this webinar will be held on May 7th. So you received already a link to this webinar. The focus on this webinar on May 7th will be perturbation. So that means it's a gait stability training, which also consists of dual tasking exercises. This webinar on May 7th will be also for our end users, for your customers. So feel free to forward the link that you already received or the link that you will receive within the next days. Forward it to your customers for promotional purposes, and they can join this meeting as well. Here in this window, next to the Stroop test, other exercises like guess the capital. What's the capital of South Korea in this case? Seoul. What's the capital of Argentina? And so on. So many different cognitive tests or dual tasking exercises are implemented, such as mathematics, number sequences, or guess the country flag. But again, this will be highlighted in a separate webinar. What we have also implemented in this screen is a rating scale, or different rating scales actually. For example, we implemented the modified or the standard Borg scale. Here's the modified Borg scale. This is or in other words, it's a rating of perceived exertion, RPE rating scale. And here the subject can select how the subject is feeling on the treadmill. So on a scale 6 to 20. So Veronica is feeling fine. Let's tick here number 7. Once we selected one of those values in the rating scales, it will be shown here in the graph as well. This will be flagged and recorded. This number 7, or whatever we enter in the rating scales, will be also shown in the report, in the PDF file or the CSV file afterwards. So we have Borg scale, the modified Borg scale, or a pain scale. So if you are working in a medical environment, you can use probably also the pain scale or any other of those scales. In addition, we have a specific window or another view, which is called Poincaré diagram. And the Poincaré diagram actually is reflecting or is visualizing the heart rate variability. So that means every heartbeat from beat to beat will be captured and will be shown here in the X and Y direction of that graph. And typically we receive like a cloud, which looks like a cigar, which looks like a cigar. And this means the heartbeat is more or less constant from each RR interval to the next one. We also have another cursor function here implemented. That means right now, Veronica is walking 7 minutes. And if we like to see what was the heart rate, for example, after 1.5 minutes, we can just use the cursor here to move to any time point, and then we see the speed, the elevation, and the heart rate or the distance. So this is the cursor function. In that screen, we see different parameters coming from the treadmill, like speed, heart rate, or the elevation. Here in the upper row, we see the other parameters like time, distance, and energy consumption. Those parameters can be edited according to your need. If you like to see a different parameter here, just click on the settings button, change the display, and choose one of the other parameters, for example, altitude difference. So altitude difference, like in hiking, mountain biking, and so on, will represent the altitude that you covered over the whole time. So right now we are in 0 elevation, and therefore the altitude difference is the same, 0 meters. Okay, if we are here in this window, we have another, or what I meant before, another interface, the FTMS interface, that we can just demonstrate right now. As I said, the FTMS interface is actually an interface coming from the treadmill, communicating with a third-party device. In this case, the treadmill is communicating with an iPhone or a tablet, and on that tablet, there's a third-party app running that we see here. It is KinoMap. KinoMap, I will increase the speed a bit. The interface is providing the speed from the treadmill. That means Veronica is walking like 5 kilometers per hour right now. And this 5 kilometers per hour is shown here in the app And at the same time, we see the landscape that we selected. We see the landscape matches, or the movement of the landscape matches the speed from the treadmill. So this is it's a nice tool that the subject will walk or run on a treadmill and can see different landscapes. In addition to this example, maybe we can change to another landscape. Just select a different one. For you, it's important to know this is not our software, it's a third-party app. You can use KinoMap, for example, to provide real data or real movies. So that means any subject was walking here in this city, filming the landscape. Another app would be Swift. In Swift, it is like an avatar. That means you as a cyclist on a bike or walking on or running on a treadmill will see your avatar in a virtual reality, and you can meet your friends and walk or run the same trial, the same run in the landscape. So right now we see it. We see any kind of city here. Looks like a vacation city, like a mall, where you can walk through, where you can run. What we noticed from this, let's say, feature or this functionality in KinoMap, it's also very interesting, for example, in geriatrics, or if you in a senior residence home, maybe. So that means just pretend you can film with a small camera or with the iPhone or with a smartphone. You will film any city or a village that you know. Put this on the platform, and maybe your parents, if they are located in a senior home or anywhere else, can run the same movie that you filmed and prepared for your parents or anybody else. So it's a very nice system to use, and just to distract the people from walking on the treadmill. So this was the FTMS functionality. While Veronica is walking, I will explain some, let's say, we'll let you know about some other features. If you need to know some specific information, feel free to use the manual, for sure. In the instruction for use, there are many information included, and the instruction for use is located not as a hard copy, but will be on a media stick, which is provided on the treadmill as part of the treadmill. Or we can use also let's see if we can get it in here. Or we can use it also with a QR code, which I will show you in a minute. So with the help of a smartphone. Okay, so Veronica covered almost 700 meters. I think this is good enough for now. I will stop the treadmill, take care, hold the handrails, and the treadmill will stop. As I said, once the treadmill stops, we will see the summary screen. So that means the whole profile according to elevation, to the treadmill speed, and we see also the heart rate, how the heart rate was going up or down according to the run and to the speed probably. Here in the lower end, we see average speed, so our average data like speed, elevation, heart rate, and also the maximum speed. Maximum speed here was 5 kilometers per hour. If you like, you can now save the report. That means use a USB stick, any USB stick, insert this one to the USB port, and save this profile or protocol on the USB stick. It will generate a name, but you can change the name, whatever you like. Click on OK and confirm. Now there is a PDF file and a CSV file on that USB stick. The PDF is easy to print out. You can give it to your customers or use it for your own recordings, for your data set. The CSV file can be opened, for example, in Excel, and can be used for further analysis, so some deeper analysis, and will give you line by line all the parameters of speed, elevation, heart rate, and so on. And also the what we highlighted before, the markings of the Borg scale, for example. If this profile was the best profile you ever run on a treadmill, you can also save this profile, save as a profile. If the USB stick is connected, you can now separate between a time or a distance profile. We take the time profile here, save it, name it, click OK, and save on the USB stick, for example. So that's it on the manual mode so far. Thank you, Veronica. Yeah, once the training is over, just click on Main menu to go back to the home screen. What I want to highlight before, but now I can do it a little better, here in the top row, there are some additional buttons that you can use. For example, the question mark. The question mark will show some safety instructions, and if you use your smartphone, for example, use the QR code to get access to the user manual. Use this link to send it to your computer, to your email address, and you can read it on a larger screen as well on the computer. In addition, here in this starting screen, we have some more buttons. What is new now with the treadmills is that we have implemented as a digital switch, so to say, a digital switch to change the running direction. So we can change to reverse mode just with a click, or go to forward. We also have the heart rate symbol. Again, if we want to select another heart rate monitor, so for example, if this treadmill is located in a gym and many people around have a heart rate sensor, you can select your favorite or your heart rate monitor to show the heart rate accordingly. We have the settings button. I will continue this later on. We have also the subject information, like we can change the gender, we can change the sex, we can enter a weight, and this will be the information that is relevant in the background. And the background means some of the parameters from the treadmill will require to know the information of the body weight in combination with the heart rate. So for example, the parameter of the energy consumption. Okay, what else? We have here in the top row a screenshot button. The screenshot button is actually very nice if you want to capture or if you want to create a report. That means just click on the screenshot button, and if there is a USB stick connected, it will generate a screenshot, a picture from the whole screen that you see right now. And that could be any screen, from a setting or from your achieved running trials. As I said, this will be stored on the USB stick as a picture file and can be used for your reports or can be used for your social media if you like. Put your next marathon based on a treadmill, put this in social media and get some likes. The last one here refers to the patient data or the patient number, for example. As I said, the treadmill is equipped with an NFC or RFID receiver. That means if you have an NFC tag, for example, connect this or just tap it here to the user terminal, and it will exchange the number of this wristband or tag, and the number will be shown in the top line and will be shown in the report afterwards. Or if you like, you can just simply enter a number manually, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the RFID is indicated as 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be shown on the report, this will be shown on the export data. Okay, as I said, here's another settings menu. If we enter the settings menu, we get some very basic settings first. This will be the settings for the runners. Typically, we can change the language, in this case from English to German or vice versa. We can change the speed or the distance units. If you are, for example, based in the United States and you want to see miles per hour, just change it to miles per hour. The same applies also for elevation. Elevation is indicated in percent, but you can change it to degree. In addition to the settings, we have some extended settings. And here is a longer list of different kind of settings of different level. And the biggest level will be here to change the options. This is either for you as a HP Cosmos expert or for the HP Cosmos technical people who need to change some of the parameters of the treadmill. Just as an example, if the customer has a low ceiling, but the treadmill is equipped with a safety arch and you want to limit the treadmill height, the treadmill elevation, not to destroy the ceiling or the treadmill, you can limit the maximum elevation, and this will happen here in the options. But you can also import license. What does it mean? For example, some of the features from the treadmill will be based as a license. You will see that on a price list, for example. A license could be a feature like the motor brake, could be FTMS, but could be also like perturbation. And I remind you, May 7th will be the separate webinar for perturbation. So that means some of the options are available for extra charge, and they can be retrofitted, or they can be installed right away from the factory, or can be retrofitted afterwards. That means if the treadmill is already at the customer, and in the following year, the customer wants to have the perturbation, we can simply send you the right license for this particular treadmill, and the license can be uploaded to this treadmill. Okay, then just a few other examples here. We can also personalize the treadmill. That means right now the treadmill has the look and feel of an HP Cosmos treadmill. That means here in the top row we have the HP Cosmos logo. The screensaver looks like an HP Cosmos picture, but this can be also personalized according to our partners, or could be personalized by the end users. So for example, if they have a gym with a specific name, they can insert their name in the logo and in the reports. So how does it work? Just click on personalize, and then you'll see a list consisting of 3 different items that you can change. We can change again the logo, a screensaver, and a logo that appears on the report. The information is shown already here. That means each picture consists of a specific dimension in pixels and needs to be located on a USB stick. This is already prepared here in this example. Just insert the USB stick with the right files, and click here on load file, and load file. And now I can change to a customer's logo, to any logo, can be your logo as well. Apply, apply, apply. Okay. And now it is changed. So that means at least you can see right now here a custom logo, a customer's logo. I will briefly change this back to what it was before. Reset, reset, reset. Okay, okay. Done. What else do we see here in the settings? Again, we can change the heart rate source. We can also connect the PC or an external device to the treadmill. That happens either here from this section in the settings, or you can use here in the top row also this interface button. And as I said before, we have different interfaces. You can still use the serial interface, the RS232 cable, because most of the systems on the market, third-party systems on the market like ECG devices, still rely and still use RS232 as a serial interface. Or now we can also change to an Ethernet cable, Ethernet connection. which is, let's say, more state-of-the-art and also very stable. The software update also happens here from this section. That means every once in a while, we will release a new software. This is the software that we see here. This software actually right now is a prototype. This will be released in a few days and will be present on our website. That means the customers or you as a partner can download the software from the website, follow the instructions. There's also a tutorial video available, and upload the software, but it's actually very easy. Just put it on a USB stick, select here software update, and confirm. But we have also software features or upgrade features that are listed here in the upgrade section. Right now, this treadmill has all features available. Everything is present here because you see it here on the green check. If not, some of the options are indicated with an X, and then it's up to you and up to customers if they want to have this feature. For example, the reverse mode or the FTMS interface. This can be installed and upgraded at any time. Okay, and as I told you before, also our service partners will like the software. That means you can easily create a log file, download the log file to the USB stick, and in case of troubleshooting, send it to us and my colleagues, or you can already read from the log file if there was any problem and what could be the cause of this problem. All right, let's go back. So right now we used the manual mode, but you can see we have some other modes as well. Right next to it on the right-hand side, you see the cardio mode. Cardio mode means the treadmill will change the speed or the elevation according to the heart rate. That means you can define, or the operators can define, a target heart rate for the subjects. For example, 140. In addition, we can select a maximum speed. If the maximum speed is, in this case, 9 kilometers per hour, or let's take 5 kilometers per hour, that means the treadmill will speed up. It will get faster and faster until it reaches your target heart rate. Probably in this case, the heart rate of 140 will not be reached because the maximum speed is already there. Then the treadmill goes in elevation. It goes up to get your heart rate also up. Another example, and this means this is a walking setup of the cardio mode only, walking, because it's limited to 5. If we select a maximum speed of 20 kilometers per hour, then it's probably not walking anymore because the treadmill can go faster and faster until running. And probably while running, you will already reach your target heart rate of 140. That also means this treadmill will probably not go into elevation because speed is enough here to achieve or to reach the target. And last but not least, you can select a starting speed. Let's take 5 kilometers per hour as a starting speed. Click on Start. And now the important question comes to the heart rate, because the system needs to know the heart rate. Otherwise, it will not work. The system will require your heart rate in order to control everything else. Okay. I will stop it. On the left-hand side, you see the profile and test mode. Enter it. Profile and test means we have already implemented specific profiles, like an interval profile or progressive interval profiles. And that means this progressive interval profile is a very defined profile. It will change the speed, or some of them will also change the elevation. But this is a fixed profile so far. That means this interval profile lasts 25 minutes. has a maximum speed of 14.4 kilometers per hour and no elevation in this case. Each of those profiles can be scaled. That means instead of running 25 minutes, just extend the time and run, for example, 28 minutes. So everything will be spread out or shrinked down. And so this scaling can happen for time, for the speed, and the elevation. So we have many profiles implemented. And as I said before, one of those profiles is the perturbation mode that we will focus on May 7th. Next to the profiles, we have implemented tests. Those tests are coming from the literature, from research, or from clinical practitioners, for example. So we have implemented the UKK walking test, Conconi test, Breda test, many other tests as well, like the Bruce protocol, the Gardner test. This is very helpful. That means if we start the profile now, the rest happens automatically. You as an operator can focus on your client, on the subject, on the treadmill, but the rest of the speed change and elevation change will happen automatically. So very easy to use. Each of those profiles can also be modified. So that means here the Cooper test, there is a modify button. If you click the modify button, it will jump or it will bring the Cooper test in the editor that I will explain shortly. So each of those tests and profiles can be edited manually. Okay, the profile editor means you and the subjects, the operators can create an own profile. If there's nothing integrated for you, like the tests and the existing profiles, feel free to create your own profile. This happens here on the Create Profile button. And now you can insert as many additional steps as you like. And each step can be defined according to time or distance. So for example, the first step should be 5 minutes and a speed of 4 kilometers per hour with an acceleration of 4 and elevation 1%. That's, for example, the first step. The second step should be distance. That means that should be defined not as time, but by distance. Let's take 200 meters with 14 kilometers per hour and acceleration. Let's take 4 again and put the elevation to 0. And this is the way to continue step by step, and you can create your own specific test or running trial. Any kind of profile can be defined here. In the next step, you can either save the profile, that will save the profile, for example, on the USB stick, or just directly start the profile with the Start button. As before, everything happens automatically now. The treadmill will go in elevation, will start the speed, and so on. Once you're in a profile, you can skip profile steps. That means this example profile consists of 6 steps. The first step was, I think it was a 5-minute step. If this is too long for you, just skip it to the next one. Or go back to the previous one, or freeze this step. That means now it will remain on the same speed until you continue the profile. All right. So far about the profiles and the tests. As I said before, you can also import your profile. When Veronika was on a treadmill, we saved her profile on the USB stick, and now we can import it Just as an example, we can import now the profile file. And here we go. This is the profile that we used before that was captured from the previous run. If we want to import this, click on the button and import it. Or in addition, and what we have seen here as well, if we go on import, we have a second possibility now to import a GPX file. GPX file is actually GPS data. GPS data from any GPS device for cycling, for running. And this can be imported as well. Just select the GPX file, and here's an example on the USB stick already present. We can import the GPX file from the USB stick. So this will convert the GPS data to the treadmill. But you need to know the treadmill goes in a forward direction. It always goes either flat, so 0 elevation, or it will go with elevation, positive elevation. If the running trial is also with negative elevation, so downhill walking or running, this is not possible for sure. But many hiking trails are possible to insert because all of them go uphill. All right. Let's say these are the main functions, the main features of the treadmill that we can use. And as I said before, from time to time, we will send out a release, or we will publish a release of the software. That means there are some new functions coming in, or some changes from the buttons or color. Everything will, or is possible that we can modify. So feel free to send us your comments and maybe your wishes, what we can implement. And if we can justify this, then we can probably insert this. It's a software, that means it's flexible. And yeah, and we really like it that we can from time to time send out a release to provide new features. Okay, so far about the main functions of the MCU6 treadmill and the MCU6 control panel. In the following days, we will send out an email to you, and that email will consist some words of thank you for being our partners and for joining here. And we will send out an hyperlink to a cloud folder, which will also give you some marketing material. So marketing material about like the latest pictures for the Pluto or Mercury with the MCU6 or Quasar Pulsar treadmills. So it is important for you as our partners to use the latest marketing material in your brochures, on your website, in all your promotional work that you do. So please use the latest pictures. In addition, there are also some videos included, videos like examples for FTMS, or videos to show the different features that we will see here. In that download folder, there are also the latest brochures from Quasar Pulsar treadmill. There will be also probably another brochure, a flyer for the specific perturbation feature that we will launch soon. And also there's the software. So that means here the software on the screen, the Power Control 6, is very important for you, not just to control the treadmill from your computer, but also to use it from a sales point of view. For example, put this software on your computer and launch the mouse, launch the simulator. So that means the treadmill can act as a simulator. So you can use or create the look and feel right from your computer and to show the different features from your computer without having the treadmill next to you. Okay, what else? Just briefly, I will use the USB stick that was connected to the treadmill before. And briefly want to show you the report. as a last action here today. And as I said, the report shows the different parameters from the treadmill, like the serial number and the average or maximum heart rate and time, the different parameters. We see the graphs again, the Poincaré diagram over time, and the rating scales. In this case, we just used the modified Borg with the value of 7. And here, a long list of parameters. In this case, every 5 seconds, we have the data from speed, elevation, power, distance, energy consumption, metabolic equivalent, and heart rate. That's a long list, either as PDF or, as I said before, available as a CSV file. Oh, this was the screenshot. The screenshot is also integrated here in the report. No, it's not here. The screenshot button that I used just as an example. So pictures stored on the USB stick. Okay, thank you, partners. Thank you, our friends worldwide. I hope you enjoyed and could take away some information from the new features, the new MCU6 control panel. And if there are any questions, I will ask my team, my colleagues, are there any questions? We always used TrackMaster communication. Is it still possible or only COSCOM? So one important question nowadays is the interface. So I told you we have the interface based on, let's say, the physical port is an RS-232 or an Ethernet port. And this is communicating in our standard, that means in COSCOM, in the version 4, COSCOM v4, which is our standard to communicate with our partners. But we also implemented the TrackMaster protocol, which is also very familiar and widespread on the market. So that means if your device, if your ECG or your CPAD, spirometry, whatsoever device is communicating on TrackMaster, we can change also here the protocol type from COSCOM to TrackMaster. And you will see on the screen, you will see a disclaimer because it's not our standard interface protocol. So the answer is yes, we can also communicate on TrackMaster, but we highly recommend that your system will be changed to COSCOM because we think and we know it's the safest protocol, interface protocol on the market. Any other questions? Not from my team. So again, thank you for joining, and we will send out this recording here to you as well, so you can use it and you can share it with your colleagues for your new team members to learn more about the treadmills and the MCU6. Or you can just review the recording maybe in a few weeks to select your information that you need. Thank you. I wish you a wonderful week. Goodbye and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.